Ready, definitely.
I'm ready. It's been a long day, I'm ready.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Walter. I'm the Vice President of Reminderville Village Council. Mario Molina, who is the President of Village Council, is absent and excused this evening, so I will be chairing this evening's committee of the whole meeting. Mr. Silverstone, are you taking the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Would you mind taking roll, please?
Dan. Mr. DiCarlo?
Here.
Mr. Hoffman is excused. Mr. Condick? Here. Mr. Molina is excused. Mr. Silverston is here. And Mr. Walter?
Here, thank you. Are there any, is there a motion to approve the minutes for last committee of the whole meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for March 11th.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, would you take the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Condick? Yes. Mr. Silverston, yes. Mr. Walter?
Yes.
And Mr. DiCarlo?
Yes.
Are there any amendments to the agenda this evening? Hearing no amendments, we'll move into reports. Mayor Sam?
Really no reports. Today we met with, just to give you a quick update, Garrettsville. I talked with the mayor of Garrettsville, and I told them that if they needed anything, that we would be willing to help. And all the mayors from Summit, Portage, and Stark County relayed the same message to them. So everybody knows they had a major fire burn half the city, village. So they might need some food for the food bank. It was a little low. That seems like it's coming in pretty quick. They've been getting stuff from, money from Australia, Germany, all over the places. They've seen it on the TVs and stuff, so they're getting an outpouring of help, but we still may be needed. So I'll keep you informed of that.
That was their historic district too, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was no sprinklers, there was no, I think there was guys fixing some roof with blowtorch and started. But each business was privately owned, so, there's not a whole lot government can do for them, other than try to take care of the food pantry, basically.
What a tragedy.
Yeah. That's it.
Mr. Carpenter, do you have a
I have no
report for us? And I don't believe we have an engineering representative there this evening.
No, there is he filed a report. It would be on your box,
Okay.
in your box.
And Chris,
To review.
don't be so sure.
You gotta find it.
No fiscal officer's report this evening?
I have some items to read for her.
Okay.
There is a legislation for some appropriations this evening, which we won't be able to pass because we don't have enough for suspending the rules, but Sam Scafidi wrote a letter to explain why he needs the extra money on his. Truck number 3, which is a 2006 model year truck, twice completely failed. This repair is estimated to be $6,000. To replace the bed entirely would be between $16,000 and $21,000. Truck 2 had a major hose leak, which is $300. And just to have a little extra, since he's using it all, plus adding more in, he's just asking, rounding it up to $10,000. So that's where that number comes from. And there's quotes in here if anybody wants to see all the quotes. As far as the rec center appropriations in that same legislation, we approved $1,232,000 even. the appropriation's actually a little less, and there's a letter here explaining why it's a little less, just some money. But it's basically the same, but if anybody wants to see why it's slightly less, that's in here. And then the $236,000 appropriation also for the rec center, that's on that legislation as well. There's a breakdown of what all the costs are in there. We've got Dave Riley's 30 grand, there's a bunch of stuff for bonding companies, brokers and such. So there's a letter here that explains all that if you want to see that. And then lastly, I don't even know if we need to do this if it's under a certain amount of money, but if we can make a motion or discuss donating for Walt's brother.
You can do that by motion.
We could do that by motion. Was there a dollar amount, Sam, that you guys had in mind, or should we do a not to exceed, or?
I thought they did 100.
You can just make a motion to authorize it.
So we'll do that.
Authorize,
We do that during council meeting?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
You can do that under, new business or whatever.
Okay. And that's all I have.
Okay, are there any questions for Ms. Cordell? There being no questions, are you ready, or do you want a couple of minutes to compose yourself? Okay. There's no police representative here, is there any messages, Sam?
No.
Okay, no fire representative here? Architectural Board of Review?
ABR met last night and just started to pick up. We approved 4 decks and 2 fences that were pretty typical. We did have that garage that's being built on the way to the dam behind that house, the people that just built that new house behind the demolished house. We approved that conditionally. We asked them to use more earthy tone painting it. They had tan and it's made it stick out in the woods, the colors. We asked them to use like a greener paint and shingles. And we asked them to come back in April with a detailed site plan that'll show some kind of evergreens or something that they're planning in an effort to build a buffer between that garage and the people who live in the closest residence. That's it.
I have a question for you, Mr. Condick. Is Architectural Board of Review going to move to a once monthly,
Pardon me?
is your committee going to move to a once monthly meeting schedule?
We have.
We haven't.
Okay.
I think we only missed one meeting over the winter.
And that's just good.
Or somebody who wants to build a dock through the ice or something.
Planning and zoning?
Actually, we met about was it the second phase? Or the final?
It was a site plan for Clover.
For Clover.
Yeah.
Which is the senior housing project. We got final approval on the site plan.
Well, are they going to be calling it, what are they going to call that development?
They didn't know yet.
Yeah.
They were gonna call it the senior housing development at Kendall or something. Yeah, they didn't really have a name for it yet.
All right.
Do you got a name you want to suggest?
Your name was thrown out there a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
That's actually true. Didn't sound true, but it was.
Is there anything from the Board of Zoning Appeals?
Yes, we're meeting April 14th at 6 o'clock, and from now on, we will have one meeting a month if necessary. It will always be on the second Monday.
April 16th, at what time?
April 14th, 6
14th.
o'clock, it's a Monday, second Monday.
Very good. That is what prompted my question to you about the Architectural Board of Review, is that we're finally moving to a once monthly meeting. Finance.
Finance just met. We recommended payments in the amount of $279,561.30. 200,000 of that is Twinsburg Township's portion, 70% portion of the JED money. We also discussed going through Verizon's bill. It seems kind of high with all the special plans and stuff going out there now, that maybe somebody could look into it, maybe
It's already.
consolidating. It's already in motion. Okay, we knew we had talked about it before, but
We got AT&T's putting a whole package together for us.
excellent.
And that's for the phones in here, or a new app. Actually, the phone system they have now, that they have available that's just a docking station. There's no more wires anywhere, there's no more copper. Everything's all,
No landlines.
no, the landline is a docking station with your iPad or iPhone.
You gonna do this for all the departments or just village hall?
Yeah, I'm getting a price for everybody.
PD too.
It's just so wonderful not to have wire.
Hmm?
It's just so wonderful not to have wire.
If the prices,
Right, good, okay.
prices, but there are a lot of competitive prices that we just on cell phones.
That's all fine and set.
Okay, cable will, our next meeting is the first Thursday of May. Communications,
Our next meeting is Monday, March 7th at 7 o'clock here at Village Hall. Continuing to work. Again, Sam's helping us out with the, getting in touch with AT&T and working on the new Village app and website improvements. Things like that.
very good. Long-term community development. No report.
No.
Recreation,
Recreation met last Wednesday. Phyllis Gafford from the Forest Stars Homeowners Association joined us. She's taking over running the 4th of July event. We talked about that. Other events that Shores and the village can work tighter together on. We also discussed the Easter egg hunt and that new Family Day touch-a-truck event. That's it.
what is the tentative thoughts? Because usually with the Aurora Shores 4th of July event, the village is a participant or vice versa. They're complementary features within this village, but with no bridge. Has there been any tentative plan assembled?
We've decided to wait till next meeting so we can get a more accurate report on the bridge. Right now, Terry was telling us to pretty much assume we can't go over the bridge for the parade. Is that pretty true?
The bridge, we've been working with a consultant, that the bridge engineer, the bridge contractor, and he's carbon fiber reinforcing. He's getting confirmation that's an acceptable approach to get ODOT approval. We've not gotten there yet. So at this point, we have confirmation of the status of the bridge, and it'll be a while before we review, before we get any sort of determination. The roadway will be, water line, most of that will be complete by the end of March. Well, yeah, we'll be close. We've been waiting on a few decisions by Clean Water. So I'm probably mid-April before we to start taking out the roadway, putting a storm system in. So that is also going to be very tentative if we're going to have, how much the road can have back in place. So I'm questioning on both, that decision making by Cleveland Water and the bridge have not been finalized. That's why I can't give a direct answer.
With the number of pedestrians and onlookers that we have with that 4th of July event, we certainly don't want to get into a circumstance where we've got any fall hazard or
Yeah, we don't want to.
sharp object issues. And I would rather cancel than have an incident.
Either that or you just run straight down Glenwood.
Yeah. Well, cancel the Nautilus Trail portion of the event. don't know if any other questions for recreation?
I mean, that really just affects the parade, they would still have the men at the marina, right? So, we just have the parade have one.
I would think so.
Yeah, we pretty much realized between the Nautilus construction and the rec center construction where they begin the parade, that this year's just gonna be an unusual year for the 4th of July parade. Hopefully by next year it'll be better.
But you know, next year we'll be able to have the new Reminderville swim team. We'll be able to have the new Reminderville volleyball team, each to be represented for the
Floats.
yes. All right. Records, any reports?
No, she's not actually.
Seniors.
Seniors' next breakfast is tomorrow at Bob Evans in Twinsburg at 10. And the next launch is April 8th at Rousseau in Northfield.
Jed?
Jed's next meeting is next Tuesday, April 1st, which is a special meeting, 7 o'clock at Twinsburg Township. That's it.
You can think of, and back to the engineer.
Just to, Regatta Trail, water line had been prepared and submitted to Cleveland Water, we're waiting on their initial review, and we'll be resubmitting that as soon as possible. Windjammer again is done, as I told you, we're trying to incorporate more of the water line into the regatta, so we can lessen the cost of Windjammer. I would think by the end of April, we'll probably go out for bids for that, knowing that we have at least a 2-month time period before we get the actual funding, within 60 days. So that we would be after July, we would be willing, ready to move forward with the Regatta Trail and Windjammer, possibly water lines, so that we can have Nautilus complete before we start another section of town. So that's in progress and going along. Again, we did receive the Section 319 grant for Conduit Tributary. We are waiting for the actual paperwork of the funding before we can do anything. Maryland Street, again, we're just waiting for the weather breaks, so we can finish the grading, complete the seeding, roadways done, water lines done, everything's functioning. We are monitoring the roadway. We did have a little bit of mud on it. We did get Avanian to clean it up. Harrington 6 is setting, nothing going on there except construction work. Again, monitoring it, keep the roads clean as possible. 7, they've taken down, I think, the majority of the trees. They were cleaning up. I don't know if they did much this week, but they're pretty well done on that.
Are there any issues with trees this time around? Any issues with trees this time around?
No. I think we did ask them to save as many as they could, especially on the property line, and they did back off instead of one clear cut. They did request the mayor, did try to save some trees along the property line to protect the residents.
There were issues with some residents.
But they did not cross the line.
They didn't cross the line.
In fact,
That's
we
the
walked
important part.
each and every line
Walked
and
it.
marked, and we knew exactly what trees could go and couldn't go. At the request of the mayor, they did save a few on their own property they could have taken down, but try to keep as much buffer as possible. So, worked out okay. Nautilus East, the water line should be complete by the end of the week. Again, we're waiting on Cleveland Water. There's some 2-inch connections going to the condos, and if they wanted 2 or 3 weeks to decide which way they wanted to go. They're paying for it, so we had to wait until they confirm how they wanted to do it. They want the full replacement of it, whereas we had suggested they could save money by just replacing, bringing it across and making a sleeve or a connection on the other side of the road. So they want a full replacement. We'll be moving forward with. Then the water line, or the storm sewer, we worked out, there were a few conflicts with the water line. First thing I wanted was extra money to lower the water line. We worked through the issue with them, and they verified each conflict. We were able to make adjustments to the storm system to minimize any kind of extra cost. was a little bit on the noise on the tree clearing, again, we spoke to them, made sure they know the appropriate time when they can start, during the weekday and on the weekend. We talked about Nautilus and the roadway. We have received updated plans for the senior housing. After going through their initial review, they had requested to lower the roadway from a 26-foot roadway to 20 foot. We told them our code is 24 minimum, so they modified that to 24. They have submitted a landscape plan and a lighting plan. They have included additional parking spaces for land banking, so that if, according to a number of their other centers, they have the appropriate number for those amount of cars usually involved. But if we find that there is an excess amount of cars, they will be required to put in, or start paving the land bank particular projects that we have, so that we have laid out. So we're in pretty good shape here, and we don't have no problem moving forward with it. You know, we will obviously go with a fine-tooth comb through the final plans and before we approve it, and then they have to bring in the full detailed building plans upon final approval. They move forward with that.
Very good. Is there any questions for Mr. Esser? Any no questions? We will move on to the legislation portion. Tabled legislation, Resolution 67, 2013, a resolution in support of accepting for the dedication certain private streets located in the crossing subdivision pursuant to the procedures set forth in the codified ordinances of the Village of Reminderville, Section 119.01F, third reading. Excuse me. Resolution 23, 2014, a resolution to accept the recommendations of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the preliminary site plan submitted by Clover Construction Management for a senior housing complex, third reading. Regular legislation to be considered this evening. Ordinance 06-2014, an ordinance repealing section 16.9 of the Twinsburg Township zoning resolution and declaring an emergency, first reading. Ordinance 07-2014, an emergency ordinance to make appropriation adjustments for the 2014 village budget, first reading.
I'd like to add something, that goes with what I was reading in Deborah's report, but I also realized you each have a copy of those letters that explain what I was talking about too. That's all.
Ordinance 8-2014, an ordinance to transfer $32,672, I presume dollars, from the general fund 1,000 to the police vehicle acquisition fund 2907 and declaring an emergency, first reading. Resolution 27-2014, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement to purchase a 2014 Ford Utility Police Interceptor from Statewide Ford for a sum not to exceed $38,200, third reading. I am presuming on this that the differential between ordinance 8 and resolution 27 is probably the add-on equipment to the vehicle set. Very good. Resolution 29-2014. A resolution to hire Alexander McKinley as a part-time police officer with the Village of Reminderville, first reading. Resolution 30-2014. A resolution to accept the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to approve the site plan for proposed senior housing development on Kendall Lane,
I have a question.
first reading.
What's the difference between resolution 23 and resolution 30?
The street, one was preliminary, supposed to be preliminary, the other's the final. It's actually redundant.
What do we need to do? Do we just keep the one tabled and ignore it forever, or?
Well, what we
Paul,
can-
how can we?
What we can't do.
Well, the
is
reason why it
just-
was tabled was because they were trying to get with, the building inspector on road, he had some issues, plus what he had said earlier about the 24 foot around it, making sure that that was straight, so we had tabled everything till everybody got on the same page. So that everybody is on the same page, I would say take the table one off and drop the one, what's that first reading?
Is the site plan, the Planning and Zoning Commission considered last week, was that a final site plan?
That was the final. Planning Commission approved
Yeah.
the preliminary.
I would probably do it just the opposite way, because there is actually, the preliminary site plan is actually moved now, right? And the final site plan is the one we actually, because these documents get attached to this piece of legislation.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So I would suggest that we stick with the last one and drop the first one,
Get rid of 22.
the one that's tabled.
Now, the way we get rid of the one that's tabled is we bring it to the floor and simply defeat it.
No second.
You just don't even go
Yeah.
there, right?
Well, we need to take it off the table.
You can take it off the table, move to take it off the table at the proper time, and then, one person make a motion for passage. If it doesn't get a second, it dies.
Mr. Carpenter, just so that nominally preliminary's brought forward, council approves it, then the final's brought forward and council approves it.
Okay.
Would it be best to take the preliminary off the table and
And
approve
pass
it,
it.
and then bring forward the final?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
That way you haven't stepped out of,
You have a paper trail.
yeah, you have a paper trail.
So that's fine.
Very good,
Okay,
we can
we
do
could
it.
do that.
Yeah.
It's third reading, so that's fine too.
And if we have to, we can push, resolution 30 for,
Well, we don't have enough people present to
Yeah, we can't
suspend
suspend
the rules
rules
today,
today.
so they don't have to go to a second reading.
Oh, well. It will have to go to another reading?
We don't have enough to suspend the rules
No.
for passage tonight. Takes 5 people to do that.
No quorum, okay.
We have a quorum, but Ohio law says that each piece of legislation has to be read on 3 occasions.
And we
you
were
can
asking,
dispense with that, but it requires 5 council members to vote in
which we
favor of
call a
that.
supermajority.
Mhm. This just, it postpones another 2 weeks, and it's a matter of us closing on the property with my
We're
client.
actually hoping to have a special meeting on Thursday, I believe.
We may
That-
have to on the other piece.
Yeah.
That would be greait. That would really help them
I
out.
hope it's an early meeting.
Well, right, that's,
Yeah. All right, is there any old business we brought for the thing? Any new business?
Tom got me thinking, when we got the information from Sam, would it make sense to have either, whether Sam's meeting files something, maybe have if he's now a department head, have a report, whether bi-weekly, monthly report from the service department?
I think we should.
probably should, absolutely, sounds good.
I think we should. In fact, we used to, but it was taken off of the agenda for lack of presence.
Sure.
Considering Terry or myself will be here at each meeting, if you want to report from Mr. Strapedi, he passes on to us, we'll be more than happy to. Because we do work hand in hand many times, we could then report, and he can tell us exactly what the issues are, and we just get involved in that report. That would be helpful.
That'd be great, and I'm not saying you should necessarily be here, I just think it
They do a
makes
written
sense.
report,
Oh,
put
right.
it on lots.
Whatever.
Right, but I'll make it tennis to make sure that we go over that with him, so he knows, so that we re-record if you have questions, I can try to let you know when.
That'd be great.
Very good. Is there any other new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Take 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna do the roll.
Yeah. Be here, right?
You know what? Deductible,
What's that?
Yeah, and we'll go fine.
Daniel? My pleasure. So you guys can't take breakfast over at church?
Yeah, we gave it a try. It was funny. They had,
You don't even wanna do that, it's a small enough amount, you can do it on your own budget, but, I'm totally on board. I was under the impression that your insurance is gonna make. Sure.
Because I want to see the,
No, she was renting the door.
Oh, yeah? All they're gonna do is vote, so I know what they're.
You know, we walked 2 months in a row.